Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for showing up today. We're going to be doing an album reaction before we jump into song requests live here, on Twitch and on YouTube. Although you should definitely be following me on Twitch because that is the main streaming platform. We're going to be listening to an up-and-coming artist. I have actually promoted him on the channel before. His name is ReMark. I think that's his name. I call him ReMark just because I enunciate a little heavily, and I think his name is Mark, but the word is actually ReMark, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So I think that's what his actual artist name is, and he's just never corrected me on it. So you can let me know in the comments, ReMark, if I'm saying it right or not. But yeah, he dropped an album recently called SOUNDZ. I reacted to SOUNDZ X on the channel. Since then, he has dropped Y and Z, and he said that Y is a little more chill and Z is a little more energetic, and that he thinks I might enjoy Z more. So since it's also his most recent drop, we're gonna be checking that one out today and giving you guys my thoughts on it. ReMark sent in, a very generous $30 donation to the channel. So this is one of those, special request reactions that you can also get for yourself if you use the Streamlabs link that is in the description, if you have an album that you particularly really want me to see me react to. With that said, support the channel any way that you see fit. The link to ReMark's album will be in the description. Be sure to check out his music and support him as well. And we're gonna jump into his project. So without further ado, SOUNDZ by ReMark. Track 1 is Feel Like O, Part 2. Nice. I like these 808s. This has got great energy, man. I could have used a little bit more volume on your vocals. Beyond that, this is a really great song, I think. Yeah, that little 808 panning effect is really, really cool, dude. So, track 1, awesome intro, very great energy, very clean mix. Love how hard this beat is. The very colorful album artwork definitely fits with these brilliant synths that we're hearing in the background. I could have just used a little more volume on your voice, so I could have, heard you just a little bit better over the beat, but that's nice, man. That's really, really cool. Great intro. Track 2 is blowing up. Very charismatic, great flow, a lot of presence on this track. Fire beat too. Man, I can't complain about this. I like this performance, man. This is really not bad. I think it's just the hook to play us out there. Man, track 2 is very tough. Great, like I mentioned during the track, he's got charisma, he's got presence, he's really commanding this beat that's around him. The beat is really bright and vibrant, and it has a lot going on that makes us want to focus on it, but his vocals can still draw our attention back to him and to what he's doing on the track. So that's what I mean when he say he has presence, is he's the one that's in the spotlight, and he's not giving up that power unless he wants to, you know what I mean? Very few artists can actually, have a really great handle on when to be in the spotlight and when to sit back and let the beat do the rest of the work, and he seems to have a good idea of that. Track 2 is fire as well. Really like the synths. Like the 808 a lot. Again, a little quiet. I turned the volume up for the chat so that you guys can actually hear it. So yeah, I could more volume, but maybe, my volume is the way that it always is. Yeah, definitely. I think it could boost the volume just a little bit. Don't be afraid to blow my eardrums out. They Trying to Hate, track 3. I got bit by a mosquito right here, bro. So if you see me like itching my hand, that's what it is. Yo, these plucky little melodies going on in the background that sound like they're a little muffled, like underwater. They almost sound like bubbles popping. Really, really cool, man. They give a really nice effect to this beat. This kick is great. Nice and punchy, man. Yeah, the lyrics don't really mean anything here. At least it feels like they don't. This is just vibes. I'm not mad at this. Right here, I feel like the track should be ending. I feel like this is a good point to end this one. Yeah, so I guess my only complaint about that one is that it feels like it could end maybe 30 seconds sooner. The low voice kind of like outro, you know, feels off key, and I personally would not include it. I think it's a little unnecessary. But if you really want to include that like little outro thing, I would have at least made sure that the lower pitched vocals are still in the same key. Yeah, I guess I would have just tried to shorten the track in other ways. You know, maybe repeat the hook one last time, or I don't know. But those are really my only two complaints with it. Beyond that, this track is really nicely done. Track 4 is Balcony. This sounds nice, happy, fairy tale, like colorful, plucky. Yo, this 808 is so good. Wow. It's drowning out your vocals slightly. I like what you did with the background vocals too. That sounds pretty cool. Dun, 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 dun. I love the melodies, man. Really nice, dude. I think the 808 is, well, really the beat is kind of overpowering your vocals just a little bit, but I wouldn't have you turn the beat down. I would say boost your vocals. I feel like that's kind of been a theme. I feel like your vocals need to sit a little bit, they sit nicely in the mix, but they're just not loud enough. It seems like they're EQ'd and the mixes aren't muddy, but then all that's left to do is just kind of like to raise the volume on them just a little bit so that the other stuff isn't drowning you out. Because that bass is like, it's hitting so nicely right now. It's got the great distortion on it. The really nice little bubbly melodies in the background are perfect. I could just use more volume from you. Your energy's great, your performance is nice. You know, the lyrics are nice with the references. Yeah, just more volume. More, just keep turning it up. First one, ReMark and Marley. Your vocals sound great here. This is the kind of volume that I need from your vocals. Like this, they sit so nicely. They fit well in the beat and they're still sitting above it so that nothing's drowning you out. This is great. Nice. This might be my favorite track so far, man. This is really cool. Loving this one.
It's burning up inside, I'm darker than the coal. I don't know, I'm nothing, I'ma take them all on any day. Vision to you ain't my first one, I hope you're my worst one. Ay, I don't believe we say you fool me once a night. Stupid girl, I ain't your crate. Cause if you make it, you made it. So I felt like I ain't.
Wow, man, yeah, this one's great. First one is really, really nice, man. I like this one a lot. I think this one's the best one off the album so far in terms of just how catchy it is and also the mix on it being the best. Really like the beat, and Marley did a great job on the feature too. Track 6 is next up.
Flex up, flex up, flex up, next up, ReMark. Think I'm going cry all alone.
Wow. Never mind, this one's the best one. Wow, this is the best one, bro. This one is awesome. The lead is so good. That one is fire, bro. That's the best track off this album so far. That's track 6. Next up, everything about that one is perfect. Out of State, track 7. Ad-libs are nice too. That's just the hook to play us out. That one's nice and quick too. Great performance. I like the ad-libs in the background a lot. I think that you killed the background vocals. Every beat's been great, dude. Your beat selection is on point. Track 8 is Blow. The way that the background vocals are sliding back and forth is really cool. This is nice, bro. Oh man, this beat is great, bro. Wow. That track is awesome too. Different kind of a bounce. It doesn't have the synths, it's got the piano sounds. I like the little lead as well in the background. Hard hitting drums, but they're simple. You make up for all of the rest of it with your performance, man, with your flow, with your charisma on this one. Awesome. Lead the race. Good luck with that, Iris. Subtle little background melodies. Yeah, Miles Sicko. Absolutely I am. Linkin Park cover and a Slipknot cover that required me to rap at a decent high level. You can do it. It's about confidence. I'm gonna be real, I don't feel as interested in Lead the Race as I was in some of the other tracks. I don't think this is as strong. Definitely one of those tracks that I kind of wish was a little shorter too. Track 10 is Feds. Shout out Tom Brady. This is not a Coach Ice track. This is by ReMark. He's an up and coming artist. Oh, that might be where you. That might be why Logan said it's a Coach Ice joint. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't think he did poorly on that one though. You know, and even though he used someone else's beat, that's still a fire track. I'm definitely not mad at that at all. For the gang.
Oh my God.
Try to maintain. I run a train with my brothers on the same thing. My brother flame me, I'm trying to, I try to stay on the track, I put fucking lean in the back. PT lit, I'm on Frankly. Shorty be giving me face now. Traveling, I'm in the States now. Open it up when I break down. ReMark out. I just get to the bag. I don't wanna get to know you. I just get on there, get this chain, I'm trying to end this game, pull out when I bang. Where they came, we with my brothers on the same thing. My brother flame me, I'm trying to get his chain, I'm trying to end this game, Everything I do is always for the game,
I feel like this one just goes on for slightly too long. It kind of made me want to, have this on in the background. You know what I mean? Since it's on the longer side, but it's not a bad vibe at all. Track 12, Trust Me. How many You Can't See Me Stevie Wonder bars have there been on this, man? I caught the little Yachty bar, bro. This one's not bad. What happens is this album doesn't feel like it's got a concept to it. It doesn't feel like there's an overarching theme. It just feels like it's a playlist full of bangers. That's what this album feels like, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, if it's got 14 tracks on it, it runs the risk of running out of steam. You know what I mean? It runs the risk of sounding a little repetitive. I mean, you're reusing bars. I think I've heard the Stevie Wonder, you know, I'm going blind on them, or slash they can't see me, or slash, you know, I can't see them. I think I've heard that bar like 3 or 4 times in different tracks throughout this project. So it's like you run the risk of being a little repetitive when you have this many songs. I think maybe this album would have been stronger at around 8 to 10 songs, like an EP or something, you know what I mean? Instead of all 14. Because here it's like the beats are all very, very cool. Your performance is really, really great, but it's similar in every song. It's got that same high energy. It feels like we're always on a high, and it starts to be like, okay, when do we come down? You know what I mean? After like 45 minutes listening to the album, it starts to feel like just more of the same, you know? So you gotta be careful with that. Trying to Get It, track 13, ReMark and Lil Keo XR. Yeah, whenever you're gonna go for like a playlist of bangers, or just like, no, I don't want a theme, I just wanna make a bunch of bangers and put them on an album, go for really crazy songs and a shorter track list. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with this. It just feels like I've heard this before throughout the entire project, you know? Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with that one at all. I'm not mad at the feature either. Like I said, it just feels like more of the same. You know, we've gotten a lot of similar sounding tracks, and so it's just starting to get a little bit repetitive. And I've got a feeling that if Phases, the last track, you know, is also in the same kind of lane, it might run the risk of also not being a bad song, but just feeling repetitive due to where it lands in this track list. You know what I mean? I haven't really heard a bad song on this album yet, but listening to them all one after the other gets a little old after, you know, 35 to 40 minutes. So I would have made this shorter, and yeah, you can absolutely add any one of these songs to your playlists, and they're gonna go hard. Like, all these songs individually, they bang. As an album, it starts to drag. Phases, last track. This one's a little slower.
I gotta stay on the low, ain't even trying to always say champagne. I want my slots in the corners. Really, I'm stuck in a maze. Don't got his blood.
So, Phases, again, same thing. It's not a bad song at all. It just suffers from the fact that the album at this point feels like it's dragging. So let's talk about this album. I would say, I mean, I started reviewing it already. This feels like an album full of you know, bangers. It feels like you just took a bunch of individual bangers and you just threw them all in the project. You know, with no real concept all the way through, no overarching theme or message to the album. It's a compilation of slaps, and that's okay. That really is okay. The problem with that, though, is that if you listen to it all the way through like an album, honestly, after Blow, track 8, it starts to be like, okay, all right, more of the same. So because of that, I feel like maybe, you know, making this shorter, taking these 14 tracks and being like, okay, I have 14 songs. That's enough for an album. But which, 8 or 9 of these 14 are my absolute favorite, and then I would have just posted those and left 4, maybe up to 5 songs off of this album, just to stop it from feeling like it starts to drag. So that, yeah, you can, as is, take a bunch of these tracks, throw them in a playlist, shuffle it, and every single one of them is going to go hard. But you can't really sit down and listen to it all the way through without, towards the end, wanting to go on your phone, wanting to get up and move around a little bit and have the song in the background. You can't really, it gets a little tough to listen to in one sitting. Shortening it would have fixed that problem with it. And that is, I think, its major flaw. Because beyond that, the beats go hard, your performance is great, you've got great presence, fire flows, your vocal mix is clean, albeit, a little lacking in volume on some songs, although towards the later half of the project, I didn't really have that complaint. Everything about it beyond that is pretty well done. I would have made it shorter. That's really the only thing that I think is wrong with this. But hey, ReMark, I still really appreciate you for sending this in. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, keeping in mind that it feels like it drags towards the end, I probably would have gone with like a 7. 7.5 out of 10. If this were shorter, like Logan said, it probably would have been an 8 to an 8.5, maybe even a 9. Because these songs, the production, they really do go pretty hard. I do like it a lot, the vibes and the energy off this album. So, thank you so much for sending this in. Like I said, if you're interested in an album reaction to any album of your choosing, it doesn't have to be your album, send in a $30 donation using the Streamlabs link in the description. You can also send in a donation of any amount if you just feel like supporting the channel that way. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out ReMark using the Spotify link in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.